Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I was looking at yarn. I went down that rabbit hole. Woo! Hope you're having a good morning. It is Tuesday, June the 4th, and we are here to look at new releases this week. And on Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. We do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's jump in. I've got my cup of coffee. I'm ready. Two Sides to Every Murder. This is by Danielle Valentine. Oh, now this is saying June 25th. It moved. Never mind. Let's delete that puppy. Let's try this one. Looking for Smoke by K.A. Cobell. This is a young adult, I believe. An adult mystery thriller. When local girl Lauren includes Mara in a traditional Blackfeet giveaway to honor Lauren's missing sister, Mara thinks she'll finally make some friends on the Blackfeet reservation. Instead, a girl from the giveaway, Samantha Whitetail, is found murdered. Because the four members of the giveaway group were the last to see Samantha alive, each becomes a person of interest in the investigation. And all of them, Mara, Lauren, Brody, and Eli, have a complicated history with Samantha. Despite deep mistrust, the four must now take matters into their own hands and clear their names, even though one of them may be the murderer. That is an interesting angle. You don't see that very often. Walter Mosley has a new one. Big name. Good morning, Elena. You knew I was going to ask. I was just about to say it. And you beat me to it. Kim says good morning. And Mary says good morning. Happy Tuesday, indeed. Well, we'll see if the service manager shows up today. Receptionist we had. Service manager we did not. Farewell, Amethystine. Amethystine. This is an Easy Rollins, book number 16 by Walter Mosley. January 1970 finds Ezekiel Easy Rollins, LA's premier black detective at 50 years of age, despite all expectations. He has a loving family, a beautiful home, and a thriving investigation agency. All is right with the world. And then Amethystine Stoller, his own personal Helen of Troy, arrives. Her ex-husband is missing. A simple enough case. But even as Easy takes his first step in the investigation, he trips. He falls into the memory of things past. Little things like loss, love, a world war, and a hunger that has eaten at him since he was a black boy on his own on the streets of Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas. The missing ex, a young white man named Kurt Fields, is found dead. Easy's only real friend in the LAPD, Melvin Suggs, has gone into hiding rather than allow his femme fatale wife to go to the gas chamber, and that's only the beginning. Easy finds himself pressed into a reckoning. All of his success cannot succor his heart. The 1970s have ushered in new expectations of men and women, black and white, and Easy has to make a choice that will almost certainly hasten a permanent descent, one that will sunder his soul. Already we've got some heavy topics today. Well, Tuesdays are mysteries and thrillers. This is the grittier side of things. Devil's Kitchen by Candace Fox. Oh no, not a service manager problem. Hopefully just out for the day and back again. Yeah, he always uses his baby as part of the excuse. He's not feeling well and the baby's not feeling well. There is a mom involved. I'm just not sure Why it means that he has to stay home too. I don't get it. Devil's Kitchen. Let's see. The firefighting crew of Engine 99 has spent years rushing fearlessly into the hot zone of major fires across New York City. This tight knit four-person unit has faced danger head on, saving countless lives and stopping raging fires before they can cause major destruction. They've also stolen millions from banks, jewelry stores, and art galleries. Under the cover of saving the city, these men have used their knowledge and specialist equipment to become the most successful heist crew on the East Coast. Andy Neerland, the newest member of Engine 99, is good at keeping secrets. She's been brought on to help with their biggest job ever, hitting New York's largest private storage facility, an expensive treasure trove for the rich and famous. She's also an undercover operative charged with bringing the crew to justice. Keeping Andy's true motives hidden proves more and more dangerous as tempers flare and loyalties are tested. And as the clock counts down to the crew's most daring heist yet, her cover might just go up in flames. Now that kind of sounds interesting to me. Again, an interesting angle. Let's see, hang on a second. Burn it all. You're not though, so you do get it, which makes it difficult. Yeah. I just hope it's not a sign. He's such a good worker otherwise. We've been so lucky. And I had the thought yesterday that maybe Steve and I could take July 5th off. The first, non-holiday day off in at least 5 years. This is by Maggie Alfarth. This is a debut psychological thriller set in small town Georgia. Marley Henderson is having the worst year of her life. First, a drunken mistake costs her everything, including her engagement and her closest friend, Thea. Then, a series of cruel rumors make her an outcast in the small Georgia community she calls home. Finally, a string of vicious arsons rip through town, leaving unchecked destruction and Thea's body in their wake. To the police, the case is cut and dried. Thea Wright was an unstable woman with a troubled history, and with no evidence to suggest otherwise, it seems clear that she was responsible, not only for her own death, but for dozens of arsons in the months preceding it. To Marley, though, the truth is less obvious. Reeling from the loss, Marley teams up with her ex-fiancé to uncover the truth. The deeper she digs into the night of Thea's death, the murkier the truth becomes, not just about the fires that have been raging through the town all summer, but about the woman she thought she knew. To get to the truth, Marley will have to face Thea's lies, as well as the darkness she thought she put behind her long ago. Told in alternating POVs and dual timelines. That definitely has a hot summer feel to it, but not a beach read. Like hot and muggy. Bright and Tender Dark by Joanna Pearson. Days after the dawn of Y2K, beautiful, charismatic 19-year-old Carly Richards is found brutally murdered in her campus apartment. 2 decades later, those who knew Carly and those who just knew of her remain consumed by her death. Among them is her freshman year roommate Joy, now middle-aged and mid-divorce, living in the same college town and desperate for a new beginning. When she stumbles upon a 20-year-old letter from Carly, Joy becomes convinced the man in prison for her murder was wrongfully convicted. Soon she is diving deep into the dark world of internet conspiracy theorists and amateur sleuth blogs and bouncing off others touched by the long sensual aftermath of this crime. They include Casey, the trans night manager at the building where Carly was killed, Sherry, the mother of the man serving time, and Jacob Hendricks, the charming professor with whom Joy knows all too well Carly was romantically entangled before her death. Jumping between 2019 and 1999, This takes us from the era of Reddit threads and online obsession to the evangelism infused culture of the late 1990s to reveal what really happened to Carly in a compulsively readable blah blah blah. Brilliantly mines the mythology of murder, the power of urban legend, and the psychological urge to both protect and exploit what you love but cannot have. Definitely some dark themes. Anna Bright is hiding something. Of course she is, or else there wouldn't be a book. This is by Susie Orman Schnall. Anna Bright is committing fraud, but nobody knows it yet. Not the board of her multi-billion-dollar company, not her investors, not the public breathlessly anticipating the launch of Brightspot, and not the media, including Jamie Roman, a hardworking journalist for Businessberry. But when Jamie when Jamie does learn about Anna's misconduct, she embarks on a bicoastal journey to expose the crimes and make a name for herself as a journalist. It's not long before Anna learns what the reporter is up to, however, and she'll do anything to stop Jamie, especially now that Bright Life's IPO is days away. Short and sweet, I guess you read to find out. Paris Takes All, book number 1 by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This is, I believe, a young adult mystery. The Inheritance Games meets Ocean's 11. It is described as 17-year-old Olivia Owens isn't thrilled that her dad's getting remarried again. She's especially not thrilled that he cheated on her mom, kicked them out of her Rhode Island home, and cut Olivia out of her rightful inheritance. But this former heiress has a plan for revenge. While hundreds of guests gather on the grounds of the gorgeous estate where she grew up, everyone will be thinking romance, not robbery. She'll play the part of dutiful daughter, but in reality, she'll be redistributing millions from her father's online accounts. She only needs the handwritten passcode he keeps in the estate's safe. With the help of an eclectic crew of high school students and one former teacher, Olivia has plotted her mid-nuptial heist down to the second. But she didn't plan for an obnoxiously nosy wedding guest, an interfering ex-boyfriend intent on winning her back, greedy European cousins with their own agenda, or a vengeful second wife. When everything seems like it's going wrong, Olivia has to keep her eyes on what really matters, getting rich. And when she's done, something borrowed will be the understatement of the year. What a nasty theme. I have so many thoughts about that. She's not the good guy here. Wow. From the Ashes by Damian Boyd, 14th in the D.I. Nick Dixon series. I'm volunteering at the library this morning. Tough gig, 2 whole hours selling the books for the friends of the library. As you scan them for things that you would also like. That's what I would be doing. Cross that one off the list, if it ever was even on the list. I know, it's just like, deal with your father issues, your family issues. Don't steal money that isn't yours. You're not the hero. From the Ashes. Long lives are being cut short in this thriller, blah, blah, blah. A retired teacher is found dead in her Somerset home on a cold January night. At first glance, it is a routine, unexplained death and a simple referral to the coroner until a neighbor reports an unscheduled visit from an occupational therapist an hour before the body was discovered. Detective Chief Inspector Nick Dixon is convinced the elderly woman has been strangled, a cause of death confirmed by the pathologist, and a murder investigation is launched. More victims are soon found, a second retired teacher who died in eerily similar circumstances in Devon. Then a possible third victim is exhumed in Dorset. Leading a regional task force, Dixon must find the connection between the victims. As the coincidences mount, he begins to fear he has stumbled on something premeditated and deeply sinister. A serial killer targeting the elderly in their own homes. Well, yeah, you've got a third one? That's a serial killer. But it's nice to see a UK police procedural. I like those, but I've not read that series. Tell me who you are. No, tell me who you are. Huh. This is by Louisa Luna. The Silent Patient meets Gone Girl. Do you have to compare it to a movie? Brooklyn psychiatrist, Dr. Carolyn Strange is certain she knows what's best for her patients, her family, and pretty much everyone else. But that all changes when a troubled young man arrives for his appointment and makes a pair of alarming confessions. I'm going to kill someone, and I know who you really are. Dr. Carolyn is accustomed to hearing her patients' deepest, darkest secrets, but it seems Nelson Shack may be one step ahead when detectives show up later that day, inquiring about a missing woman. It looks like Nelson has made good on his threat, yet somehow it's Dr. Carolyn who becomes the prime suspect. Convinced the police are incompetent, which kind of seems like her theme in her life, Dr. Carolyn takes matters into her own hands, chasing down the elusive Nelson and running headlong into a past she has spent her entire life trying to forget. As she closes in on her target, all the polished pieces of her manicured life splinter when people begin to question who she really is. A gripping psychological thriller that begs the question, can a person ever really outrun their past? The Unwedding by Ali Condi. The White Lotus meets Agatha Christie. It is described as Ellery Wainwright is alone at the edge of the world. She and her husband Luke were supposed to spend their 20th wedding anniversary together at the luxurious resort at Broken Point in Big Sur, California. Where better to celebrate a marriage, a family, and a life together than at one of the most stunning places on earth. But now she's traveling solo. To add insult to injury, there's a wedding at Broken Point scheduled during her stay. Ellery remembers how it felt to be on the cusp of everything new and wonderful, with a loved and certain future glimmering just ahead. Now she isn't certain of anything except for her love for her kids and her growing realization that this place, though beautiful, is unsettling. When Ellery discovers the body of the groom floating in the pool in the rain, she realizes that she is not the only one whose future is no longer guaranteed. Does she realize this? Before the police can reach Broken Point, a mudslide takes out the road to the resort. Oh, goodness, they're cut off, leaving the guests trapped. When another guest dies, it's clear something horrible is brewing. Everyone at Broken Point has a secret, and everyone has a shadow, including Ellery. Don't ask, don't follow. Leave me alone. Get off my lawn. This is by Mary Kelly Ikoa. Murder, dark family secrets, and the unwavering bond of sisterhood regardless of the cost. Beth Ralston, a paralegal in Portland, Oregon, would rather be racking up billable hours than mingling at an office party, especially when her sister Lindsay, aka her plus one, is a no-show. After making her obligatory rounds, Beth returns to her office to find that her boss, who she'd talked with moments before, has been murdered. She sees a woman fleeing the scene. Wait, was that Lindsay? Unable to catch up to her in time, Beth waits for the police to arrive and notices that Lindsay has left her phone behind with an unsent text message to Beth displayed on the screen. Don't ask, don't follow. Lindsay is unreachable for days, and when Beth starts to come under suspicion for the crime, she decides that waiting is impossible. While retracing Lindsay's steps, determined to bring her home, Beth uncovers what her sister, an investigative reporter bent on changing the world, was trying to expose corruption, secrets, and betrayal on an unimaginable level. Revealing the truth might bring back the one person she's desperate to find, but it could also destroy the only life and family Beth's ever known. Hidden in the Night. Missing in Alaska. This is by Elizabeth Goddard, third in that series. At the behest of her ailing mother, former FBI agent, special agent turned rare book collector, Ivy Elliott arrives in Alaska to secure an unpublished Jack London manuscript kept secreted away for decades. But when she arrives, she learns the manuscript is gone, taken by the granddaughter of the woman who possessed it. Ivy sets off in pursuit, not just to save the manuscript, but to save the vulnerable girl who was previously trafficked and has no idea what she's getting herself into. Joining forces with Alaska State Trooper Nolan Long, Ivy must battle a blizzard, sabotage, and the worst of an Alaskan winter as the search goes on. But every answer they find only raises more questions, and the danger to their lives and to the missing girl may only be the tip of the iceberg. Ooh, sounds like a lot going on there. I don't know. I don't know if it works. You have human trafficking, but you also have a book that she legally has the right to. I don't get it. Over the Edge by Kathleen Bryant. In Sedona's Red Rock Canyons, I'm intrigued, Sedona, a former reporter must piece together her shattered memories in time to stop a killer. After a disastrous mistake ended her career as a crime reporter, Del Cooper returns to Sedona and takes a gig with a down-on-its-luck tour company while she rebuilds her life. Her peaceful small-town escape ends when, hiking in a remote Red Rock Canyon, she finds the broken body of a murdered man. At first, she believes the murder is connected to a proposed land trade that will pave the way for a luxury development on the edge of town, but it seems money isn't the killer's only motive. As she digs deeper, she uncovers the small town's darkest secrets, all leading to her to Lee Ranch, a former filming location for Western movies. Two women disappear after Dell interviews them, and rumors begin to spin faster than Sedona's famed energy vortexes. That was a hard connection. But she knows the truth. Someone is watching her from the shadows. Desperate for answers, Dell ventures into the wilderness to lure the killer into the open. But out here in the Red Rocks, bodies can be lost forever. I'm not writing it off completely. It's a setting you don't normally see. But that is all we have. Oh, you are? Oh, that one's on my bucket list. I would love to experience the energies there, but it's so expensive. Oh, have a good time. Mary says, thanks so much. Probably won't see you exactly because you're volunteering. Find good books. Hope you have a great day as well as you, Elena and Kim. Indeed. Thank you guys. Appreciate you coming here in the morning. I know it's early. We do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons, 3 times a week. Kim says, have a great day. You too, lady. You too. Hope you have a good day. Hope to see you tonight. If I don't, tomorrow we will be doing new releases in romance and maybe women's fiction. Kind of depends what we can find. Otherwise, as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day and God bless.